Although it hasn't come up in either the RNC or the DNC conventions, the ongoing conflict in Afghanistan is sure to be a sticking point in the upcoming elections. It is, after all, the longest war in American history and has taken a huge toll on the U.S. economy. And it looks like things have taken a turn for the worse. Remember that 30,000 troop surge that happened in Helmand and Kandahar provinces back in 2010? Well, those provinces are still ranked among the most violent in the country. And then there's the rise of the so-called green on blue violence. Green on blue meaning Afghan troops attacking their U.S. counterparts. This year alone, 45 international service members, most of whom were American, have been killed as a result of these attacks, 15 in just August. Even the top commander in the Afghanistan, as far as U.S. goes, John Allen, admits that he can't explain this recent upsurge in violence. As a result, the level of distrust is spreading throughout the ranks. The U.S. military is even assigning guardian angels to watch over the American troops while they rest. Afghan authorities have detained or removed hundreds of soldiers in order to investigate the rise in attacks, and the military has stopped training nearly 1,000 members of the local Afghan police force in order to better vet the trainees. So the U.S. isn't only dealing with outside enemies, but people on the inside as well. Now, part of this mess we find ourselves in today has to do with the training process. Critics argue that the military is not taking enough time to research the Afghan forces before training them. This might have to do with the immediate need for bodies in order for the U.S. to meet its 2014 withdrawal deadline. Meanwhile, President Hamid Karzai is insisting that the blame lies with Pakistani infiltrators. But one insider told Newsweek, quote, "I understand why our men are shooting U.S. and NATO soldiers. I, too, have been personally hurt by the way American forces behave toward my soldiers, our villagers, our religion, and our culture. Too many of them are racist, arrogant, or simply don't respect us." He went on to say, "Burning Korans, massacring defenseless women and children, urinating on dead bodies, and midnight raids are outrageous, for which the U.S. is now paying a heavy cost. These soldiers, who are reacting to the U.S. against the U.S., are not Taliban, but these terrible incidents seem to have made them instant Taliban." The evidence this man is laying out is a disturbing reality that so many of us here at home, watching the war unfold from the comfort of our couches, cannot begin to understand. Keep in mind that when we started this war, countries from Albania to Germany, Ukraine to Spain, and even Georgia sent troops to help out. Today, the majority of the fighting falls into the hands of the U.S. and Canada. As the 2014 deadline looms overhead and the U.S. prepares to hand control over to the Afghans, maybe the war is changing from U.S. versus the Taliban mentality to U.S. versus Afghanistan mentality. The difference between the two is very distinct and calls for some critical analysis, both of why we went there in the first place, as well as why we remain there today. But, as always, we'll let you decide if this observation merits any warrant.